Oh my god, I got the offer from ANU. Yes! Pandemic? I don't care. As soon as I come back in Darwin, I'll definitely be able to go to Australia next February. It's a long time to go. Okay, I'll do this online class first. I'll probably be able to go there next semester at least. I can't do this online class anymore. I have to quit. Okay, fine. I will not have fake hope anymore. No, I don't believe you. You're lying. Shh. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Billy. If you're like me in the past 1 year suffering from all the fake news, then this video is for you. Because I'm going to share with you my analysis of the whole situation in Australia right now and what to expect in 2022 as an international student. This video might be a little lengthy because I will include a lot of data, graphs, and news reports, but make sure you make it to the end because this really matters to me and I think it will also help you a lot. You will then understand why some news articles and education agents' words are too optimistic, and you can make a more realistic plan for your future based on the current situation. I put a timestamp here so you can also jump to any parts that you're particularly interested in, and now let's get started. I believe the most important policy for all international travelers to Australia right now is the Prime Minister Scott Morrison's pathway out of COVID pandemic, a 4-stage plan to return to normal. I believe a lot of you are already quite familiar with this plan, so you can just skip this part, but for those who don't know it, let me do a quick review for you. So basically, this plan was to announce that, like most Western countries, Australia will be prepared to live with the virus in the future. So earlier this year, in 30th of July, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has conceded that it is highly unlikely that Australia will be able to return to COVID-0, as he pushes the state to start relaxing restrictions once 70% of the adults have been vaccinated. And as I quote, case numbers are not the whole story. This plan has 4 stages. In phase A, which is the current situation now, the priority is to vaccinate, prepare, and pilot. As now, lockdowns are the primary tool to suppress the virus, which is not doing so well. The government is trying to accelerate the vaccination rate and the international border will remain closed. Once 70% of the eligible population have received the 2 doses of coronavirus vaccine, the country will move to the next stage of the plan with less restrictions. Phase B is the vaccination transition phase, in which lockdowns will be less likely. There will be less restrictions on the vaccinating population. However, the international border will still be restricted. Only capped entry of student visa holder will be allowed. Once the nation hit 80% of the population being fully vaccinated, then we'll move to phase C, which is the vaccination consolidation phase. In phase C, there will be no travel restrictions for vaccinated Australians, and there will be extension for travel bubble for the candidate countries. As for the international border, there will be gradual reopening of international travel with safe countries. For the final phase, the post-vaccination phase, the trigger is yet to be decided, so we don't know when and how we can get to this phase so far. In this phase, international borders will open back up and things will become as normal as possible. As we can see, the essential target of this plan is the vaccination rate. Lately with the Delta strain, the coronavirus cases in Australia are growing exponentially. It is so much worse than the Melbourne outbreak last year, and as you can see, most of the cases are in Victoria and New South Wales. The new cases every day shows no sign to slow down anytime soon, and I think this is a major reason why Australians are getting vaccinated very quickly recently. Nationwide, over 20 million doses of vaccine have been given. That means more than 38% of the population over 16 have been fully vaccinated. And also, more than 62% of the people have had at least 1 dose. Up to today, it seems like the daily national total of vaccination given is still growing. This is a great sign that the whole country is getting vaccinated faster than ever. But let's take a look at the prediction of the day to achieve the vaccination target. This is a very simple estimate based on the current average rate of vaccination. Don't you see a problem here? This whole prediction is based on the assumption that if the current rate of vaccination continues until, let's say, the end of this year, and 80% of the population eligible will be vaccinated by the 17th of November, or as the government Operation COVID Shield document suggested, by December this year. But what's the possibility of this assumption? Let's take a look at the vaccination rollout history of some major countries in the world. As you can see in the graph, most countries' vaccination rate grow fast at first and then they slow down. This is totally understandable because number one, when the outbreak gets worse, people feel desperate to get vaccinated to keep themselves safe, and this is the reason why the vaccination always grows faster at first. And number two, there are definitely a certain part of the people who will never get vaccinated no matter what, or simply they cannot get vaccinated. Thirdly, once let's say 70% of the population get vaccinated, and the rest of them will feel it's not necessary for them to get vaccinated because they don't have restrictions, they don't care about traveling internationally, and they're already protected by the people who are around them who are already vaccinated. There's another problem, as the news call it, the national contention, that the vaccination rollout in each territory and state are not at the same speed. As you can see in this optimistic prediction here, some states and territories may reach their 80% vaccination target in less than 2 months, but some may only reach that target in more than 3 months. This will totally affect the national vaccination rollout and also the reopen of the state borders. And as international students, this will also impact whether you can enter the state or territory in the future. This is also reasonable because the states or territories which doesn't have a serious outbreak will not get vaccinated as fast as the one who have. Even though Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said that with the 80% national vaccination target achieved, the international border can open before the state border, this whole thing still sounds a little tricky to me. We'll wait and see all the argument between the federal government and the state's governments. For those students who are studying in an area with low vaccination rate, you have to specifically pay attention to the vaccination rate of your state and territory. While there's also some good news, last week, Scott Morrison has signed a deal with the UK government to get 4 million doses of Pfizer to be delivered in Australia in September. A little earlier this month, the Singapore government had also agreed to give 5,000 doses of Pfizer to help Australia. So in September, it is expected that more than 10 million doses of vaccine will be delivered to Australia. Another good news was that the Moderna vaccine was just approved by the Australian government a few days ago for people aged over 12. So now the Australians have another choice of a effective and safe vaccine. Lastly, there's one more thing that we need to pay attention in a 4-stage plan. In Phase C, when the 80% vaccination target is achieved, the international border will gradually open, which means that not everyone can go to Australia at the same time. There will be some people who can go first and some who can go later. So as international students, who do you think can enter Australia first? Here I think we can take a look at the travel exemptions of Australia right now. You know, some international students can even go to Australia right now for the purpose of assisting in the COVID-19 response. I think this will also apply when the international border opens. I think the students with the medical degree, like for example nursing, will be able to go to Australia first when the international border opens. That means the rest of us will need to wait longer even after the 80% vaccination target has been achieved in Australia. Okay, lastly, let's say if everything goes smoothly this year and you get invited to enter Australia, there still can be a potential problem that your vaccination may not be approved by the Australian government. Like for example, the Chinese vaccines are not approved by the Australian government, and so far I have no idea where to get the vaccine approved by Australia in China. So there's still a long way to go before the majority of international students returning to Australia. My final suggestion is don't have too much hope for 2022 semester 1, which starts in February, because there's still so much uncertain things, and even though the international border opens, you may not be the first one to go to Australia. I think it's more reasonable to aim at semester 2 next year, which starts in July. But keep in mind that everything I say was based on my own understanding and research. I'm not an expert in any of this. I just don't want you to have more unrealistic hope and get disappointed again and again. I really appreciate that you made it to the end of this video. I hope this video have helped you a lot, and please share it with someone who you think might need it. I also want to hear your thoughts and your plan for the future. You can leave a comment so that we can discuss it. Okay, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!